Welcome to the Alexa Saarenoja Show. Today we are talking all about taking control of your life. The Alexa Saarenoja Show offers you practical advice for winning at life. It's time to progress towards success. Hello and welcome. Alexa Saarenoja here, and today we'll be talking about taking control of your life. Woohoo! Okay, so let's jump right in. Judging, defining, and even creating your life based on the opinions of others is a bit like hopping into a surrealist painting and trying to live there. You know what surrealist art is, right? It's like artists like Salvador Dali, Pablo Picasso. You know, the paintings are so distorted they're almost uncomfortable to look at, because the resemblance to reality is incredibly distorted. Objects that should be concrete, solid, or strong represented weak, melted, or malleable. Things that should be represented as minuscule are massive. And some objects are completely unrecognizable, while others are still intact. So everything seems random, out of whack, and arranged in this chaotic manner. And this is precisely why defining your life based on the opinions of others is like living in a surrealist painting, because your life becomes a patchwork of randomness. To some people, maybe you're too full of yourself and selfish. Maybe to other people, you're selfless. Maybe to some people, you don't have enough meat on your bones. And to others, you're looking a little chunky, don't you think? Or maybe, hey, you need to be this. Or wait, you should be that. Why aren't you this already? I mean, you become a Frankenstein of a human being, mismatched and completely confused. But unlike the surrealist painting, which is set, painted, and completed, this is happening in real time for you and changing on a daily basis based on who you run into that day or in contact with that day. Am I this? No, wait, am I that? And that's no way to live. And yet so many of us continue to live our lives based on the opinions of others. And you know what's worse? This really gets me. The opinion of another person is usually like 99% of the time not based on your character or your actions, but based on a projection of their own insecurities onto you. And get this, it goes even deeper. Their own insecurities are based off of someone else's opinion of them. It's like layered insanity. No wonder so many of us feel lost, or stressed, or exhausted, or maybe dead inside, or pulled apart, or pulled in this direction and that direction, because we are desperately trying to weave together all these differing opinions, comments, ideas of who we should or ought to be, based on practically no merit, because it's layered opinion on top of layered opinion on top of layered opinion. And using those opinions as our guide for building an amazing life will never work. Seriously. I mean, and that's why it doesn't. Just like if you were to try to recreate a Salvador Dali painting in reality, architecturally, spatially, thinking about laws of gravity, it just wouldn't work. It would all come crumbling down. Whatever it is that you are trying to do to fit into society, fit into this mold that your parents or your partner or your friends or your cousins or brothers or sisters or whoever wants you to be, just stop. Stop for a hot second and think about what you want. They can do and say whatever they want, but your life is your property, and what you choose to do with it is a right that no one can take from you. So I say, live the life you want to live, and that will help you gain control over your life. The more control and feeling of having control in your life will lead to more happiness and more success in your life. Having control over your life is the foundation for creating a great life. When you give your life's direction over to the opinions of others and advice of others without consulting your inner desires or going against your inner desires, you are giving away your control over your life to someone else. That's not cool. Without control, you're living a haphazard life. You're living like the surrealist paintings, jumping through hoops to try and be something for someone that in the end doesn't even matter. Let them live their life and you can live yours. Without control, you're not grounded, you are lost, you're floating, and you're dependent on the whims of others. And it's no way to live, but so many of us do this. I mean, I've been there myself for so many years, and even some aspects of my life, I still catch myself doing this. I've taken jobs I didn't want to take. I've gone down career paths that didn't interest me. I've stayed in relationships that weren't serving me. I've chased dreams that weren't mine. I've people pleased. I've kept my mouth shut when I wanted to scream. I've taken numerous actions in my life that were not true to who I was or what I wanted. And as soon as I did it, I knew it. I knew it was wrong, regardless of whether I changed my direction at that time or not, because you know when you are misaligned with your truth because it feels like crap. It does. It feels off. It feels fake or forced. And the longer you try to ignore or push down those feelings, the more sick, tired, and weak you feel as an individual. You stifle your potential for success. You stifle your potential for happiness, your potential for health and wellness, for creativity to blossom, for financial freedom, and so much more. Life is meant to be lived how you want to live it. Don't waste another second living it for the wrong reasons. We only get one chance at this life. Make it mean something to you. You should love it. Freaking be a rock star at living your life, whatever that means to you. For one person, that might mean being a great mom, or another, just being a sincere person. Or maybe someone else wants to be a famous writer or a kick-ass entrepreneur. Whatever it means to you, become that, strive for that, live for that, and you will find happiness in that life. So that all sounds good and dandy, right? So how do you do that? How do you take control of your life? Well, you stop looking outward and you start looking inward for all of your reasons. You make decisions based on what your heart wants, what your mind wants, what your spirit wants, and you start answering to yourself, no one else. You think deeply about who you are, who you want to become, and how to get there. You take 100% responsibility for your life. Whatever decisions you make or actions you take are all on you. And the consequence, whether magnificently beautiful and lifting you up to higher ground or crashingly catastrophic, smashing your face to the ground, are all on you. You are responsible for your life. And what does a responsible human being look and sound like? Well, in my opinion, and I know you know these people, they're confident. They're proactive, they're loyal, they're trustworthy, dependable, successful, financially independent, loving, empathetic, and absolutely glowing and growing individuals. They have an insatiable desire to learn and grow. They like to give or to provide value. They want to enjoy every moment of life. They usually have wonderful time management skills and know when to say no and when to say yes. They are people that make mistakes just like everyone else, but they make good on those mistakes as soon as possible. A responsible person shows up when they say they're going to show up. They do the job they say they're going to do. They value themselves. They understand what it means to make decisions in life based on values and beliefs rather than emotions and feelings, which we'll get into. They think before they act. They don't react. They plan, they execute, and follow through. People that are responsible for their lives don't make excuses. They don't blame the weather or the economy or you or me for their mishaps. They go after what they want, and if they don't reach it, they find another way. And I know you know this type of person. They are out there. They're the happy ones. They're the ones that have it all together. They're the ones you trust, the ones that you want to be around because they just seem so damn smart. Those are the ones striving for 100% responsibility over their lives. It boils down to this. A responsible person is a response-able person. And I'll explain what I mean. You can look at it this way. In life, there are events all day, every day that we must traverse in order to live our lives. We could call those events a stimulus. On the other side of the stimulus equation is our response. Now, if you look at animals react to a stimulus instinctively, fight or flight type thing. There's no thinking, just reacting. They don't weigh pros and cons. They react instantaneously and instinctively. Humans are different. We're special. We have self-awareness. We may have been conditioned in our past to react to certain situations in a certain way, but we don't have to react that way. We can override conditioning and choose, which is brilliant. We have a choice. We get to choose how we react, and thus the equation changes slightly for us. In between stimulus and response is the ability to choose how we react. That moment between an event occurring and your response to it is a moment of choice. And that is the main ingredient to being a responsible human. And that is also the main ingredient for gaining control over your life. Thus, we could conclude that irresponsible people are more reactive. They rely on their instincts, their conditionings, and their feelings, and responsible people are more proactive. They think, they ponder, and make a conscious decision and choose how they respond. You can easily tell the difference between a reactive person and a proactive person by the language that they use. So here are some phrases that reactive people might think or say. I can't make it work. I have to do it. He makes me so angry. It's not my fault. My hands are tied. There's nothing I can do. Now, phrases of a proactive person sound a little different. They're more like, I can do it. I will do it. I want to do it. I can find a solution. I will figure this out. They work from the inside out. The responsible, proactive person spends their time changing or focusing on things they can control, not the things they cannot. You can control what you think, how you act, what you do. You cannot control what other people think, act, or do, or certain circumstances like the weather. Thus, proactive, responsible people look within for answers rather than out for excuses. I can make a difference. I can change. I can find a solution. Rather than thinking something like, I'm perfect. I don't know what your problem is. Now, of course, there aren't people that are 100% reactive or 100% proactive. There's a gradient in between. We wouldn't be human without that gradient. But I would definitely recommend striving for the 100 proactive end rather than somewhere in the middle or towards the reactive end. Because if you are working towards success or happiness or fulfillment in your life, you would want to spend more time moving towards the proactive end and becoming more responsible for your life and showing up in order to get whatever it is that you want done. So before I go, I want to give you my top 8 things or 8 ways to take full responsibility of your life and thus have control over your life. And the first one is deciding to do so and committing to that decision. I will be responsible for everything in my life from this day forward. I will consciously improve to make decisions that increase my responsibility over my life rather than decrease my responsibility. So number 1 is decide to do it and commit to that decision. Number 2, it takes a commitment to never blame anyone or anything ever again for your shortcomings in life. This is a big one. This is huge. If you take control of your life, you cannot be looking for scapegoats. There's only you looking back at you in the mirror that you should be concerned with from this day forward. A failed marriage? How did I fall short? What could I have done better? Maybe you lost your job. Don't blame the economy. What could I have done better to ensure my job security? Have bad health? What is your diet like? What is your exercise regime? How can you improve it? You get my point. Stop looking outward and blaming and start looking inward and find solutions. It's just a waste of time to blame others for your problems. Number 3, it's very similar to number 2, but it has to do with excuses. You need to give up your excuses one by one or as they arise by paying attention to the vocabulary you use and the way you speak to others about yourself or in general. So change your vocabulary from an irresponsible vocabulary to a responsible one, from a reactive vocabulary to a proactive one. I touched on this a little bit earlier in the podcast, but we're going to go a little bit more in depth now on what I mean. If you say something like, I can't finish my degree, there is no time to study with 3 kids, or I can't change my job, there's nothing available in my field, or I shouldn't waste time dreaming about having my own bakery, it will never happen, or someday I would like to travel the world, but I'm broke. These are all excuses, non-committal, wishy-washy vocabulary of an irresponsible person. Now, it might seem responsible to not finish your degree when you have 3 kids or not change your job because the economy is not doing so well. These excuses, they even seem logical for not doing something, but it's not. Because responsible people, the difference is they make decisions, and these are not decisions. These are, I can't, I shouldn't, someday. It's not a concrete decision. When responsible people take control of their lives, they have the ability, power, and control of their lives by making choices, not hiding behind I can't or I shoulds or one days. So choose to direct your path, not to wander along it. And that's the main point of this number 3. I would recommend, if you hear yourself saying I can't, to change it to I won't. Or if you hear yourself saying I should, change it to I could. Or if you hear yourself saying one day, someday, maybe, change it to tomorrow, next week, next year, a concrete point in time. And why is this step so incredibly important? Well, because it gives you power, it gives you confidence, and it gives you choice. When you say I can't, it's disempowering, and your subconscious mind believes that you're weak, and it gives you weak results. You become a helpless being. If you say I won't, you are choosing not to do something. You are making a concrete decision, and your subconscious mind reacts accordingly. The same goes for I should versus I could. I should implies guilt and expectations that you are not fulfilling. Could, but won't, is a decision. Do you see the difference? It's really slight, but it's really important. So even though you could do that, you are going to do something else that is a higher priority to you. That's empowering, and it's honest. It's like saying, I would love to meet you, but I can't. That's a lie. You could, of course, meet someone, but you are choosing to do something else that has higher priority to you. Rather than saying, I would love to, but I can't, you can say, I would love to, but I've already committed to something at that time. Are you available on Tuesday at 12 instead? And then the whole one day, someday, maybe are also non-responsible verbiage. There's no commitment there. It's wishy-washy and it sounds full of self-doubt. One day I will get my degree. No. Next year, I will apply for schools and get my degree within 4 years after acceptance. Or someday I will open my business. No. I will work towards building my business this year at home after work, and then next year I will quit my job on January 22nd and go full-time into business for myself. You get what I'm saying, right? So change your terminology from a non-committal one or a non-priority one to a decision-based vocabulary. Okay, next, number 4. Number 4 is being responsible means getting honest with yourself. Dive beyond surface level and get to know who you are and what you want out of life. Dive beyond expectations of others, society, media, or even expectations you have placed on yourself. Tear off all the masks of who you're supposed to be and start to understand who you are, or even better, who you want to be. Maybe you feel like you don't even know who you are because you've spent your whole life living it for others. Fine, good. No, seriously, it's great if you are lost because now that you are aware of this fact of feeling lost and confused, you can do something about it. It's a great place to be. You can determine who you want to become and work towards that. So getting honest with yourself and what you truly want out of life is a definite requirement for being responsible for your life. Number 5, being responsible means having direction. You can't be responsible over your life if you don't know where it's going. Responsible people have goals, direction, dreams that they are working towards. Responsible people lead purpose-driven lives. Decide what you want out of life and go after it. And number 6, being responsible takes getting comfortable with accountability. Sometimes choices you make will have incredible results. You will feel confident, proud, unstoppable, and amazing. And other times, you will feel like you fell flat on your face, failures are coming at you from all sides, things won't turn out as you planned, and that's life. In either situation, you need to be able to hold yourself accountable. Sometimes this means high fives, and sometimes it means apologizing. Sometimes it means rerouting and redirecting, and sometimes it means trying again or trying another tactic. Whatever the consequence is, a responsible person faces it and overcomes it. By doing so, you increase your integrity, your honesty, your confidence, and your resilience as a responsible person. Number 7, being responsible means understanding that you create your outcome in life. You are the reason why you have what you have in life, do what you do, are who you are, and act how you act. There may have been people along the way who influenced you and encouraged you or discouraged you from being who you are, but you are the one who made the final decision on who you are, what you have, and how you act. And all of those choices and decisions up until now have created your life as it stands now. So, if you want to change your life, you need to change your choices. Think more deeply about each decision you make. All day, every day, we are faced with decisions. Knowing that each decision adds up to your life, maybe you will think more deeply about each choice you are faced with and the decisions you make. I want to say it again. It all falls on your shoulders. You control the outcome in your life. This sounds harsh, but it's magnificently empowering. Your life is your responsibility. No one else is going to fill up your cup, which means there is no more wasted time or effort waiting, demanding, or expecting others to do things for you. If you want it, well, by golly, go get it. And lastly, responsible people don't waste time. When you realize the amount of control you have over your life, there is no desire to waste a single moment of it. You're not going to stay in a relationship if you see that it's not working, despite all the efforts you've made. You are not going to wait for others to do something for you. You are going to do it yourself. You are going to lead. You're not going to follow. You are going to plan your days and take action, not wait and assume someone else will take care of it. You will not stay in a job you don't like because you know you are responsible for your happiness. You will not allow your health to create illness in your body because you are excited about life and you want to do, achieve, become, act, obtain, and be successful. And that requires good health. You know where you are going, you know what it takes, and you know just exactly how, where, and when you spend your time. So those are my top 8 characteristics or things I believe that responsible people possess. That's all I have for you today. Thanks so much for watching. I know your time is valuable and I appreciate you spending it with me. If you're interested, I've also prepared a free cheat sheet for this material that you can download. The link is in the comments below, so go ahead and look there and check that out. Also, if you're interested in learning more about what I do and what I teach and accessing more free information, you can head on over to my website, alexasaarenoja.com. And while you're there, I recommend signing up because when you do, then you get access to a free mini course I've created on how to feel better in life. It's a real deep dive and it's chock full of information as well as it provides you with workbooks so you can apply the knowledge that you're learning right away. Well, that's all I have for you today. Thanks so much. Take care.